it's me again with the Tumblr videos. Okay, so those were my cats. I have 5 of them. They don't drive me crazy, although they're very active at night, so it's kind of inconvenient. So my friend Little Featherheart, she asked me, what's my favorite color, flower and tree? My favorite color, I think it's between dusty pink, bottle green, lavender, periwinkle, robin's egg blue. Unusual shades, really. I wouldn't answer for something like my favorite color is yellow. I need to find an exact shade to it. And I also like the kind of sky blue you see really early at morning. My favorite flower, I have many. The lavender, forget-me-not, bluebell, foxglove. I'm not really keen on roses because, yeah, they may be beautiful, but they're too common and everyone's favorite flower is a rose. What else? That made me sound like a hipster, didn't it? Yes, I think those are the principal favorite flowers. If I find any more, because I have the giant book of flower fairies, I will let you know. And my favorite tree, I think it's an obvious thing. I kind of present myself as, hey, my name is Josefina and I like the apple tree. My favorite tree is the apple tree for really connected reasons. Everything is connected. That's the tree in my grandmother's part of the countryside in which I left letters to the fairies, and they replied. And the apple tree is also the tree which leads to Narnia, because the wardrobe, the famous wardrobe, that's made of Narnian apple tree. In The Magician's Nephew, the main character, he left the core of an apple on the ground, on the grass of his own house, back in the real world, and it grew. An apple tree grew from there, and he made a wardrobe later, which he took into the other house in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So it's not a simple wardrobe. I think apple trees are the most magical. Sometimes I think, so there's the apple tree, and maybe one could go one way, like from the left, and then enter the fairy world, and then go back from the right, as though it was like a portal of sorts, without having a door. She also wants to know about the things I enjoyed the most, but I don't really know where to start. As of hobbies, my favorite hobbies are reading, obviously, drawing, painting, daydreaming, because that takes a lot of energy and heartstrings, I think. I like doing a great many things, but I don't think I can quite remember them on a whim, like right now. And the last paper tiger, that's a lovely name, she asked me for my favorite smells and what pleasant things I associate with them. That's very easy. All my favorite scents come from my grandmother's house in the south, where I was for the last 2 weeks. My favorite scent is petrichor, I think it's called. When the smell of the rain on the soil with all the plants. It's lovely. It brings up all the magic from the earth. And I also like eucalyptus, which is a tree that isn't native from there, but it grows there anyway. Like it was brought there, and now it's a really characteristic scent. I also like the scent of pine trees, and I like the scent of freshly baked cookies, even though I'm not always willing to eat them. It's lovely. I like all the scents you can find in her house, which are mostly like mixes of wood, because even the house is made of wood, and there are many things made out of wood. Another favorite, oh, tobacco. My grandfather, who is an Englishman, he always carries a pipe with him. He has many, but he has one favorite, and he's always smoking a certain type of tobacco, and that scent is marked upon my sight. It's always there. I can, even when I'm not there, if I smell something like it or the same thing, I can recall my grandfather smoking from his pipe in the balcony. It really marked me. So yes, and then somebody else whose identity shall remain hidden because that's what this person wanted. It asked me about my favorite periods in history. That's hard because I have a lot of favorite periods and I like certain things which I don't always classify in periods. To begin, I really like ancient Rome, especially the pagan period. I'm really not keen on organized religion, but I really like Roman paganism even more than Greek paganism. And I like some of the first emperors, not really the latter ones, but like Tiberius, Caligula, the crazy ones really. Those are more fun to study, even though they did they did they really did do things that are atrocious. Elagabalus, he's an oddity. He became emperor at my age, and then he was killed when he was 18. I think he was more of a teenager than I am. He did the things that he pleased, and imagine a teenager at the control of your country or empire or whatever. A message in short. Another period I like. I don't think I can classify these as periods, but I like the Vikings. I like the Celts. I like all those other pagan groups with their own religion and culture. I think it's really fun. I'm really keen on Celtic and Norse mythology, so naturally I like those both groups of people. I like the Middle and High Middle Ages. Well, I think it's the periods within the Middle Ages have different names in Spanish, so I'm not sure if I'm saying them properly. I really like reading about the plague and other different illnesses during the medieval period. And now I like Tudor England. I like. I really like the Baroque period. Or not really the Baroque period, but the cultural outcomes of it. And the late Baroque period, which is like when the French Revolution, like before the French Revolution. Yeah, I'm really keen on that. I like the music, the art, the furniture. Furniture, a weird thing to say. Architecture. I like Victorian England a bit. Like certain periods of it. That's when it begins to get more specific. And I'm not really keen on modern and contemporary things, which is a real pity because this year I'll have to study it, and I think I will spend my history classes embroidering, as odd as it is to say it and as odd as it is to imagine it, because I'm always the one who's raising her hand in history classes. And I'm a bit shy at the moment, so maybe I would be more specific through text. Anyway, that's it with questions. I don't think I was quite so pleasant or someone that I don't know. Maybe you weren't patient with me because I always take too long thinking of what word to say because English, as easy as it is to type it, it's not my mother language. And when you type it, nobody can tell how long you took to type something. But when you speak, it's noticeable. And I'm really making an effort not to be shy and look into the eye of the camera because I always look towards the floor. And in case you were wondering, my accent, I think it's the outcome of speaking to my grandfather too much in my early childhood, because he taught me all the dogmas in the English language and everything I need to know, more than school did. And I also had a great grandmother from England. He's a native from England. He came to Chile in the 80s. But he's not my biological grandfather. But he feels more like it than the other people, the other two grandfathers. I don't think I have an English accent at all, no. No. Nor Welsh or Scottish or Irish or anything like that. Let alone a British accent, because such thing does not exist. It's a coined up term that teenage girls made to refer to the accent of people they like. For example, my classmates, they like One Direction. I think that's rubbish, but they always say they like their British accent. Excuse me, but Britain consists of 4 different countries, not one, and let alone like the really posh part of London. No. I think I have the English pronunciation though. My grandfather taught me all of it. Like, I always heard him speak, and he taught me how to pronounce different things. For example, he taught me how to say Harry Potter because people always say it's Harry Potter, something like that. And he teaches me, or at least he did. He taught me the right pronunciation for many things. I think he's a bit biased though, because he's really keen on his own country. And sometimes he does not accept that people pronounce things a different way. So, yes. Oh, and I also found my miniature copy of The Little Prince. I take it to school all the time. So yes, that's it. This has been enough of boring you and taking minutes from your life. I hope something productive or something worthwhile happened while I spoke to you. To you. Oh. When I look into the camera, it doesn't really look like I'm looking into the camera. Like it has eyes somewhere. Okay, that's been it. Goodbye.